With the rumors of this guy potentially being a cut in training camp, we have to address what he can do, look at his skill set, and highlight why this guy is going to make the final 53 roster despite some people's opinions, as well as get to some other asinine ones. What's up, it's your boy Cintron, come back at you another analysis / news video, and I kid you not, that's my real name. And today, Eagles player review, running back Rashaad Penny edition. Jimmy gives his scouting report on new Eagles running back Rashaad Penny. So I did go and watch Jimmy's cuts here. I'm not going to show them here because of YouTube and footage being licensed off lease to the NFL. So I don't have the copyrights for those, so I won't show them. But anyways, let's get into it. So he's done previous player reviews on Olamide Zaccheaus, DeAndre Swift, which I did, Greedy Williams, Christian Ellis, which I did, and Britton Covey, who I won't do unless I'm in dire need of a video. I don't think I'll ever get there. But anyways, it's Rashaad Penny is notorious for not having finished any NFL season he's played in, and that dates back to, I think, was it 2019? 2018 when he got drafted. He's a 5-year pro, so I think this is his 6th year. This is in 2021, and you can see the outburst that he had, man. Weeks 14 to 18, finishing out the season. He didn't start it off. I think he missed with it time with either hamstring injury or some kind of lower leg injury. But 8.6, 7.9, 6.8, 8.3, total of 7.3 yards per carry. That is amazing. And the yardage totals aren't bad either over the course of 5 games, 671 yards, only on 92 rushes. I mean, the guy is just magic when he touches the ball. But that's when he touches the ball, because his best availability hasn't been the ability he's been able to showcase. And that follows over to his 2022 season. So the Seahawks went ahead and re-upped on him on a $5 million deal, which I'm sure they regret, at least that price tag. I'm not saying they regret letting him go because I think it wasn't a belabored decision because they have the second round back they had last year who went off for 1,000 yards, and he looks really good. So Rashaad Penny would have been a complimentary piece, but you don't want to lose a piece of this caliber. But, the risk wasn't worth the reward in this case. And one man's trash is another man's treasure, hence him being here in Philly. But, again, the numbers pop. 5.0 a carry, 4.7, 8.9, 6.8. And he got hurt. He broke that tibia in the Saints game, so he only had 8 rushes for 54 yards before he went out. But he had some outbursts. 151 yards. I mean, these are very steady numbers, weeks 1 through 5. But that's it. He's a part-time player just by his resume only. He hasn't completed the season, and that was 6 games in 2021 and 5 games in 2022. So the guy's track record speaks for itself. If he can stay healthy, I mean, you look at him on tape. 2021, I think he had a better line blocking for him than 2022 when he had the 2 rookies, Charles Cross and I don't know the other guy's name at right tackle. They got better. They got better progressively as the year went on, and also are going to be better this year. But just the lack of blocking he had in front of him, he was able to make magic with what he had, and that's why his numbers look so great in 2021. Like I said, the line played more cohesively, and he lines up for a very a myriad of formations. So he will be in the I back, then he'll be next to the quarterback. He played with Russell Wilson in 2021. In 2022, he played with Geno Smith because Russell Wilson was in Denver playing his trade there, cooking when he burnt the food in the oven. Stinks. But I mean, he's bouncing things to the outside, he's a quick one cut and go guy. Zone blocking scheme he excels at, but think about him here in Philly behind that offensive line, what he can do behind some clean blocks, because he hits the second level and he's just aggressive, and he's in guys' faces and he's not afraid to take contact. Hopefully he can take the contact without coming over injured on the play. But man, it's good to see that he has. He uses his wheels. He doesn't have an extreme burst once he hits open field. He can run away from some people, but he runs more runs more like a 4.5. He runs a 4.46 technically. But it's more than adequate. He has some weapons to use. Like, he's shifty as well, even at his size, 6 foot, 220. He uses that size, and we saw him in the in goal line packages. He's going to be a bundle to take down, and not going to be an easy guy to stop, especially in those formations. So he can get us a short yardage as well, and save Jalen Hurts on some of body preservation wise on some of those short distance to go downs. So I mean, yeah, I'd love to see us employ him, use him as a battering ram, because we have other backs that have other skill sets, but his is unique in that he brings the size, blend of size and power and speed to the mix. He can move the pile. He's shifty, man. More so than, like I said, you would think for a guy his size. And he has some weapons. I haven't seen him use a stiff arm heavily, but he can do that. He can get around you. He can run past you. He's not afraid of contact. Doesn't shy away from it. So there's lots of things that he brings to the table, and I think just looking at the raw numbers, 6.1 one year, 7.3 another year. This is somebody you want to have in your backfield, and give him in small doses, like Shredder would say on the mutagen. But we don't have to have him carry the load. He's not going to be the lead back here, and if he does manage to be at the head of the running back stable, we can just rotate him in and out. So we don't need this guy to be our savior. We just need him to be a part-time player in the rotation. We have Gainwell to spell him, and also be in a receiving game, and DeAndre Swift to spell him as well, and be a slasher. And he's not he's not the smallest back, but he's bigger than Gainwell. He brings some size as well, but his receiving chops are what separate him from the other two. More so Penny than Gainwell, because he can do things. He also was used on a draw, which be heavily effective because our O-line size and the push they get and their agility, athletic ability on the edges and in the interior. But yeah, we have a very defined role for him, and it wouldn't be a shame for him just to play that. So let's get into what Jimmy is saying about him. All right, Penny's running style is a great fit for the Eagles' offense. I agree. He's a power back at 220 who runs with excellent energy. Yeah, he does. He has good vision, and his short, choppy steps allow him to follow his blocks as they develop down the field, while also giving him surprisingly good lateral elusiveness. Those quick, choppy steps allow him to run under control, making him a very effective bad weather back. Farther away for December and January, should Penny still be up and running by then? Exactly, that huge caveat. If, man, great. Because I'm hoping that we were able to keep him away from, wear and tear by nature of him being in a rotation. But yeah, that bad weather, stuff. He was in a game where it was snowy. The field was, not in the best of conditions. But due to his, short, choppy steps, he is not going to get stuck. And he, like he said, he's able to read his blocks because he's not getting ahead. Kind of like what Miles Sanders would do. He would kind of just play too fast, and then it wouldn't allow him to let the holes develop. And then he's already pressing the hole when he should have gotten there a little bit slower. And then it's forcing him to make extra moves and allowing the defense to react. And you don't want to play everything at 100 miles per hour if you don't have to. I love A.J. Brown's cousin, Antonio Brown. The way he used to set DBs up throughout the game by running routes at, starting out at 50% or 40%, then ramping it up slowly, 60, 80, then going 100, like right when they at least suspected. So that when they thought they were seeing it as hundreds, percent speed, they were seeing 80 or 85, man, he was able to gear it up and gear it down at will and just flummox them and cause them fits. So I'm doing the same thing at running back, and it looks like Rashaad Penny has a good feel for what he should be doing to set up defenders, and that's an underrated skill, which I believe other backs in our stable do have as well. Swift and Gainwell, maybe he's learning more so because he was playoff Gainwell last year, and he seemed to have had something click with him. But yeah, the bad weather games, man, they're going to need him if he's still around. If not, then it'll be interesting, man. Trey Sermon could also make this roster. But that said, if he doesn't, I hope that he clears waivers and we put him on the, stash him on the practice squad. I'd love to do that and to have him just at the ready, just in case we need him if this guy here goes out. In the videos, you can see his uncommon burst and acceleration for a 220 back. He combines acceleration with patience, hesitation, while running in between the tackles. And once he gets into the open field, he can run away from some defensive backs. Yeah, exactly. Some, not all though. Much like, say, Derrick Henry, to give another example of a big back with good long speed. Yeah, he's not a burner. You know what I'm saying? Like Miles, he runs faster, but for him to be that size and to bring that element of speed, that's all we need. You know, we don't need guys breaking out 50, 60-yard runs. We have receivers who can carry the load and just give us shorter downs and distance and get us close inside the 20. And we have guys that can do the work. It's all about team effort. All right, Penny isn't likely to be much of a factor in the passing game. Yeah, as he has just 27 career catches and has never had 10 or more catches in any one season. Wow, damn, I didn't think it was that bad, but yeah, I mean, that makes sense given the numbers. He seems to catch the ball well enough on short throws and could perhaps be used on some rare screens or misdirection plays, but he won't be lining up in the slot like Brian Westbrook or like we may do for Gainwell or what's his name? DeAndre Swift at the same time, not just separately. Because, I mean, yeah, we don't need him to do that, but yeah, like just throwing different looks at the defense just on the occasion would give them pause and give them things, plant things in their mind to think about. So why was Penny available for a mere $1.35 million on a one-year deal? In my opinion, he damn well shouldn't have been. But the short answer is that he had extreme misfortune throughout his first 5 years in the NFL. So, okay, he's a 5-year vet, going on 6 years. During which he missed 40 games and an assortment of injuries. Yeah, it's ridiculous, the amount of games he's missed. I was arguing with somebody this summer, this past Super Bowl season, some idiot Eagles fan that, saying like, oh, well, counting on this and counting on that. He's missed 40 fucking games. And you have to never compare him to Miles Sanders as being injury prone? No. He's just a liability. That's why he got $1.35 million, because he couldn't hold up his end of the deal as far as, staying on the field. But, Miles missed some games, like a handful of games, This guy missed the equivalent of, 2.5 seasons. That's just, it is what it is. But 2018, missed 2 games with a knee injury. 2019, missed 3 games early in the season with a hamstring injury. 2019, also towards ACL, missed the final 3 games, so that was in the same season. So that's 6 games in 2019. 2020, missed the first 13 games while recovering from his 2019 ACL tear. I returned for the final 3 games, but missed the Seahawks wildcard matchup against the Rams. So, he came back in the same season, but then had to leave again. That happened in 2019 and 2020. And then 2021, the latest injury-riddled seasons, injured his calf, missed the next 5 games. He only played, he only played like a handful of games, or 5 games. He played 5 games. So I don't even know what's going on there. 2022, broke his tibia, week 5 against the Saints, missed the rest of the season. So, yeah, near lock, I would say, yeah, just because his playing style, it's unique. The risk versus the reward. For us, it's worth it. $1.35 million is nothing. Our whole backfield combined is making less than Miles Sanders is with the Carolina Panthers. And he has sour grapes about his usage in the Super Bowl and the playoffs, I'm sure. But, hey, it is what it is. You put out what you put on tape, and it just didn't show, that, you were playing up to your standards, or a player of your caliber, where, a player of your caliber should be. But yeah, he's got the myriad injuries. If we can keep him healthy, that's a big win for us, man. The explosiveness, that's the key part. And maybe it's good just in spurts. He was basically a lead back when you look at some 2021, 2022, 25 carries, 22 carries, $190, $174, $174, $173. Like, we'd love to have those numbers, but we don't need that from him. We can use him in small doses, and ride the hot hand. I love that phrasing, and let him have a game, here, but make sure the other backs are involved, and we're not leaning too heavily on one guy, because we're gonna need everybody. A collective effort for the playoffs. And yet, if he can't be the player that he was over his last 10 games, Penny can be an absolute beast in the Eagles' offense, playing behind the best offensive line in the NFL, alongside a quarterback who demands respect as a runner and can occupy a defender on RPOs And in an offense with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert, who can all make defenses pay if they choose to pack the box. So exactly, man. Behind this offensive line, he would look, man, closer to those 21 and 2022 seasons, maybe even beyond that. I don't know. Maybe he goes nuts, goes crazy, has like 8 yards per carry average, because they're gonna be progressing up the field and giving him good yardage, 2-3 yards, untouched, and then he can also he's shown on film explode through contact, and he can make moves, set guys up. So man, it's gonna be beautiful to see what he can do behind this line. And then alongside Jalen Hurts, he played alongside Russell Wilson, who had similar athleticism, but Jalen Hurts, I believe, is more elusive, in that he chooses to. Just when he has more shake and bake ability, and also just the way we use him, RPOs really highlight his athletic ability and give him the chance to use his capability as an option in the offense, feature it basically on those design plays. But A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, he can come in and complement them, not have to be a main focus of the defense. But by way of that, he's going to sneak up underneath them and be able to gash them, for chunk yardage. There's a wide range of outcomes for Penny in Philadelphia, and he will be a fun player to monitor both in camp and throughout the season. My best bet is that the Eagles will try to equally divvy up playing time among Penny, DeAndre Swift, and Kenny Gainwell, thus keeping their respective mileages low throughout the season and fresh for the playoffs, assuming the Eagles get there. And yeah, we most likely will get there, even just by way of punching the ticket in the NFC East, which we're slated to win. We'll have to see how that goes, but of course, things have to play out over the course of the season. But we return a strong roster and a number of other factors, continuity. Even though we don't have any at defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator, we do have some sort of continuity on offense, and just going to keep building on that well-oiled machine, and on defense concepts too we can build on. So it's not completely a reset. That being said, yeah, man, I have big expectations of him. But like I said, we don't know who's going to be the lead back. We don't know who's going to be heading up the group from week to week, but we shall see. We definitely shall see. But I'm going to stop the article here and then go into some other stuff, man. Some unfortunate hater news. But anyways, like Nick Wright of Fox Sports 1 is, he's doubted Jalen Hurts for the longest, and he's just kind of added to the pile, saying that he thinks that he's a good quarterback, or maybe he's even a good quarterback, not a great one, despite what he did in the Super Bowl versus Mahomes. He had, you could say, the superior numbers to him, outplayed him in that game. Really he had to. He couldn't lean on his run game like Mahomes could against the Eagles. But that being said, man, it's asinine to say that this guy is just okay. Maybe he can be good, and he could be great. Like, he has to prove this. Like last season, you don't want to elevate a player over just 1 year of production, but you look at how he did it, and just the manner and way of fashion that he affected defenses last year. It's apparent that the guy has reached a new level, and due to his work ethic, his discipline, he's going to continue to try to progress. But he was by some measurements the best pocket passer last year, which is kind of like, for me, a bit surprising when you look at it. But that being said, he progressed tremendously, and he's only going to continue to try and elevate his game and get better, which is scary. The guy's not satisfied. Definitely, he left a bad taste in his mouth losing that game, walking off the field with that confetti coming down, and it wasn't green confetti. But yeah, man, like, where are these guys getting these takes? A Philadelphia, I think maybe Inquirer, beat writer. If he's not a beat writer, he should be demoted to beat writer. Saying that Jalen Hurts is the most insecure man in Philly, because he's trying to make up for what he lacks. Which, exactly what are you trying to get at? Like, the guy's 6'1". Okay, maybe you can knock him on that. It's not the prototypical 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", ideally guy you would like at the helm at quarterback. but the guy doesn't get passes batted down at the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't struggle with that. Like, that would have been apparent last season, or even in some previous seasons. I think he maybe struggled with it maybe as a rookie, and then the first year started a minute amount, but you didn't see that really at all last year, which is just amazing. It used to be a big thing just a handful of years ago, 5 years ago, I want to say, but now like he's corrected that. Coaches have been able to get ahead of that and avoid that issue with him and other quarterbacks. I've seen it a lot recently in the league. But man, the guy plays lights out. I mean, like, because he's so driven and he works so hard, he puts so much, he invests so much in working on his game. That makes him insecure. Like, he's shoring up his weaknesses. Like, deep ball, he struggled with coming into the league, but he's addressed that and made it one of his, highlights. Made it one of his, strengths last season. But that makes him weak? Like, I really don't get it. Like, you're just reaching right now for something. You're trying to psychoanalyze this guy when he doesn't cause drama off the field. We haven't heard anything from him. Nothing but positivity. Him, in participating in camps, giving back to the community, loving up on being supportive of, of kids. And where's the knock on this guy? Hey, so I mean, like, it's just the projection is strong with this guy. You thought he was Luke, where he was projecting his astral form, upon the universe of the Philadelphia Eagle sphere. But anyways, man, that's just ridiculous. And one last thing we'll get into here, Keely Ringo, he hasn't signed his contract as of yet. He remains unsigned. He was our 4th round pick this year, rated as like a 2nd round pick, but he didn't. He fell precipitously, and we were able to get him traded our third round pick. We got back-to-back 3rd rounders, and he was available at the top of the 4th round. We pounced, or should we say we swooped in. But yeah, he was a great pickup. But he's looking at why is he yet to sign with us? There was a guy in the 4th round who got, I think, $200,000 bonus or some kind of machination that included his contract, trigger that money, and that's what he's after. So something, of course, to watch and to monitor. But if he's smart, he'll get in there, because it's just going to arrest his development if he doesn't get into camp and put him further behind the 8 ball, delay his career some, because the guy is 20. I don't think he's turned 21 yet. I think he turns either this summer or the fall. But man, he's going to be in our development plan for the duration of his career here. We'll see. He's going to sign most likely a 4-year contract, and we'll see. But yeah, man, I'd love for him to get some snaps this year. But we kind of are loaded at corner, and have a lot of guys there. But he is the future as of right now. But anyways, we'll stop it here. Long ass video, but you're not even watching though. I know, but it's all good, because as always, it's fly Eagles fly, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you want. Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.